Well, it has been about a month since Florida started its phased reopening of the state, and now they're seeing a slight uptick in cases. Joining us live from Jacksonville, Florida Republican Congressman Colonel Michael Waltz. Colonel, good morning to you.
Hey, good to see you.
I've been reading a number of cases uptick in, I think, Palm Beach County and one other county as well. But Governor DeSantis on Friday said, but when you look at hospitalizations, Miami-Dade down 13%, right. He said on Friday. And in Jacksonville, where you are, hospitalizations are down 50%.
Yeah, that's really the number to focus on is hospitalizations and the death rate. You know, the mainstream media is breathlessly reporting on numbers of cases, but there's a number of reasons for that increase, mainly increased testing. I'm focused on hospitalizations. I'm focused on death rate. And, you know, the other thing the media does is they treat all of Florida like it's South Florida. And since this entire pandemic, South Florida has had about 5 times the death rate, sadly, of North Florida. Completely different experience up here. And, you know, the other thing we have to remember is the left keeps moving the goalposts. The whole goal of the shutdown was to flatten the curve, open up hospital capacity, and to get that PPE and to get that other equipment in place. That is absolutely in place now, and we just cannot go back to another shutdown.
Sure. In the beginning, it was we need more masks, then we need more ventilators, then we need more testing, and it all came, and now here we are. They're talking about, and it sounds like it's a done deal, the Republican National Convention is going to be in Jackson. It's moving from North Carolina simply because the governor of North Carolina said at that stage, I cannot promise you, Republicans, that all those people in the big room is safe. But apparently it's going to be safe in Florida, right?
Well, you know, the other thing that we have, Steve, you know, from a couple of months ago was, you know, we have a lot more data and we have a lot better understanding of how this virus spreads. No thanks to the Chinese, by the way, the Chinese Communist Party, which we didn't have back then. We do have now. And just look how far we've come in the last few months. And this is another few months down the road. So, yep. Look, this whole thing was really a team effort when we saw that the president wasn't pleased with how things were going in North Carolina. He was afraid politics would come into this in terms of them dragging their feet to allow him and the Republican National Party to have a real convention. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the governor weighed in. The mayor was critical. A number of us weighed in. And I just want to give full credit to Ronna McDaniel, the head of the RNC, for seeing my hometown for what it is, which is an amazing city. The business community needs this shot in the arm, and they are ready to roll out the red carpet. We just couldn't be more excited to have the convention here.
Well, we hope everybody will be safe COVID-wise at that stage, which is still about 2 months from right now. But, you know, at the end of last week, Congressman, it sounded like a lot of the stuff was going to happen in Charlotte, and then just the big balloon drop was going to be in Jacksonville. But that's not the case, is it?
Yeah, my understanding is there will be a small portion of the convention in Charlotte for a number of legal reasons, but the vast majority will be here in Jacksonville. I think some of that is still being worked out, but the vice president, the president, a lot of committee work will be done here in Jacksonville over multiple days. And I do think we can walk and chew gum. We can do this safely. I think you're going to see more hand washing stations than you would see at a fine French restaurant. I mean, you're going to see GOP hand sanitizer everywhere. And just like the businesses I was just in over this past weekend, none of them want any of their clients or any of their employees to get sick. We don't want anyone either, but we just can't go to a total shutdown. And that's what I think a lot in the left want us to do through November.
But I'm sure you saw the Surgeon General yesterday say that essentially a lot of people don't want to wear the mask, but he said you actually have more freedom and you're able to go more places if you have the mask. You were talking about more RNC hand sanitizer. What about MAGA masks and things like that
well,
coming
I think
up in Jacksonville?
I think when you're in really tight places, elevators, small rooms, and for people who have underlying conditions, that makes sense. But in a wide open convention space or stadiums or others, look, I think it's, I was just at the Trump boat parade over the weekend and at other events. I think it's acceptable and it's okay. I think the mask has taken on this politicized meaning in and of itself. But when you're in wide open spaces and you're a healthy young person or adult, look, I think we're going to do what makes sense from a common sense standpoint.
All right. Thank you very much, Congressman, for joining us from Jacksonville today.
All right. We're excited. Thanks so much.